Welcome to Hack Shack Studios. We are live. Hey everyone, how are you on this glorious day, Tuesday morning? So I said I was going to do some morning shows, and so here we go, morning shows. I hope everyone's well. So I was just going through my social media last night, and I noticed a buddy, a pal, known for a long time, Rob Liefeld. I knew him before he broke into the business when he was a wee lad, and we hung out socially and expressed dreams about doing comic books. And here we are doing comic books. So dreams can come true, you guys, but you have to be very careful. So this going to be a little bit of a cautionary tale too. I feel really bad for Rob. I think it's horrible what happened to him about losing his IPs. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. He just posted that Scott Rosenberg, Platinum Studios, has announced what they're going to do with some of Rob's characters, the Extreme characters, and so he posted that he wasn't real happy with it, but it was inevitable. It was inevitable that they were going to do something with it. So let's get into the chat, introduce, say hi. What's up? Is that Earthmind? Ruth, good morning. Past Master Dan, I'm here at first. Good morning, Linkovich. Past Master Dan again. Hey, Art. Oh, Spirits Car. You were on fire yesterday. Give me as a heckler. I think you were basically getting into details about my interior decorating and how boring it is. And my weather talk. Too much weather talk. The weather here is gorgeous, Spirits Car. It is gorgeous. It's going to be 80 degrees here in the Woodlands, Texas. Yeah. No one is in yet. Talk about the weather for a couple minutes. Done and done. My dream is for Art, Soar healing up. Amen. Soar healing. I guess I need all the prayer I can get. Let's see. Brian says Art tried sending you an email through your website and it bounced back. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Michael Green, morning and morning chat. Let's see what Michael Green has to say. I will never buy an Extreme book without Rob's full involvement, endorsement. That is a good call, Michael. Good call indeed. Oh, there's Sheldon, one of my faves. This is too early, Art. There's always something. It's always something with you, Sheldon. Always something. Oh, we got Peyton. Peyton also is a heckler. I don't know if you guys can see his little icon there. That's my butt hanging out of those Levi's, those 501 jeans right there. So Peyton loves to show off my butt on his social media. Extreme Studios is back. Is it back? I haven't heard. I don't know. I remember a couple of years back when we did the Extreme Studios tour, Rob was saying how amazing those days were and how they were, like the time of his life kind of thing. But he also was like, it was a lot of work and that he would probably never do it again. So who knows? Spirits Car. I do hope you gave shelter to all those woodland creatures, including the raccoons. My wife wanted to bring in that raccoon. Yeah, I hear there's armadillos too, but I haven't seen any of those yet. They do like to cross the road. They're like little speed bumps. Max says, good morning to all. Yes, indeedy do. Hey, Art, what's shaking, brother? Afternoon. Must be afternoon there, wherever Dave is at. All right. Yeah, let me find this article. And Rob basically on his social media, he posted the link that I'm going to show you, and then he said completely disavow these as well. Same old, same old. So he's basically talking about the IPs, and I don't know exactly what happened, like the details of it, but I think Rob partnered with two or three other guys, and they were supposed to be bring something to the table. I think it was mainly Hollywood dealings and probably licensing and stuff like that. And so I guess in the contract, they each, for their involvement, got percentage of things, and I think like it was a breakdown, and I'm not sure if it was money or if it was ownership or both. But anyway, what ended up happening is those things didn't come to fruition. And I know one guy that Rob partnered with is trying to create a publishing company, and he's trying with what he got out of the deal, he's trying to create a publishing company based on the extreme characters that Rob created. And then the other one was Scott Rosenberg, and Scott Rosenberg is he ran Malibu Comics, owned and ran Malibu Comics, sold Malibu to to basically Marvel, and now Disney owns Malibu. And he got X amount of the characters, and then I think there was a third party, and then or maybe the third party was Rob, and then Rob got a third. So there was some kind of 50-50-50 like split, like three-way split. And so I'm not sure, like I said, I don't know the details of the deal, but somehow the end of the game after X amount of years, uh, it was just split up into threes. So all the extreme universe was split into threes. This is what I believe. So Rob got a third, Scott Rosenberg got a third, and then this other guy got a third. And so I think it was just the characters. It was just a character split. So I'm not sure how they worked that out, like who got what characters and so on and so forth. But there was some kind of split. And as a creative person myself, creating IPs, having dreams and hopes for these IPs, losing them like this would break my heart. And I don't know how it would be like losing a loved one. Not quite as bad, but it would feel like that. Just stuff that he'll never be able to get back, and that he spent years, blood, sweat, and tears into creating and giving them life. That stuff's not easy to do. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication to do this, and Rob put all that time and energy into it. And then these guys can basically just reap the rewards of them, if indeed there are rewards that are going to come from this. I still have my doubts. I think without Rob uh, running the show, without Rob's energy, without Rob's ideas, I don't think these things are going to fly. I think that true Rob Liefeld and Extreme Studios image fans are not going to even care about this stuff. That's me personally. This guy that's publishing, he's going to publish with some of the Rob extreme characters. I don't think anybody's really going to care. It's going to have to be exceptionally good, like better than the original, for it to even make a mark in the industry right now. So I think that guy, personally, I don't think it's going to take off. I think it's going to be it's not going to be accepted very well from the fans. And like I said, unless it's so good that it breaks down boundaries, which that's that's way too much. There's no way that's really going to happen. But if it did, that's the only way it's going to succeed. Because excellence, things that are above the norm, they have a chance to succeed. That's always been my personal philosophy. If you give the best of the best that you're capable of doing, people will take notice. Maybe not right away, but you keep going. Mediocrity never really does well, but excellence does. People can recognize excellence. So then they'll get behind it. Pop culture Avenger says, "Good morning. RT Bear and chat, newcomer here. I just backed your Chrono Mechanics. Yeah, I do want to talk about that as well. Maybe we'll talk about it right now. We have gotten a little bit of love on the mechanics. So since I am talking about IPs and things that are near and dear to one's heart, yeah, these guys, Team 9.2 of Sector 7, are definitely that for me. So this is Chrono Mechanics Retrofit. Thanks to you, the chat. We are at $51,022, 729 backers. Thank you guys so very much for this. This is amazing. This is money that makes dreams come true. 51K is pretty killer. These guys appreciate it. I appreciate it. And so, you know what? I haven't played the video in a while. Let's play the video. I have to turn up the sound here.
Hi all, I'm RT Bear, and I'm a comic book artist. During my 35-year career, I have worked on many comic titles for DC, Marvel, and Image Comics, such as Adventures of Superman, Ultimate Spider-Man, X-Men, Cable, Spawn, Youngblood.
Cable, created by Rob Liefeld.
Now, I'm rocking the indie scene, and that all began with my graphic novel, Black and White.
Started at Extreme Studios, Rob Liefeld studio.
Huge success. Now, I'm hoping that together we can do it again as I switch creative gears to walk through something new and exciting with the style created just for this Chrono Mechanics title. At this point, you may be saying, sounds good, but what is Chrono Mechanics about? Well, I'm glad you asked. This wildly funny sci-fi action-adventure graphic novel focuses on the best prepared team to ever turn a wrench. I'm talking about Team 9.2 of Sector 7. Chrono Mechanics is about the brave, knuckle-busting son-of-a-gun repairman who fixed the big machine known as time. And yes, when I say machine, you heard right. What keeps our time running smoothly is an ancient, nuts-and-bolts cosmic clockwork machine that is as huge as the galaxy itself. So join a prehistoric businessman with anger issues. Caravaggio, frustrated Renaissance artist and inventor. Zen, a child deity with the power of a gem. And a potential new recruit, Doug, a 70s rock god and slacker with crazy dumb luck. As they don their work suits and power up to repair a rip in time, will our slacker step up and become a Chrono Mechanic and take his place as the fourth member of Team 9.2 of Sector 7? Chrono Mechanics, they do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. We believe that you will have so much fun reading about the crazy repair misadventures of Team 9.2 as we did making it. So please support this campaign and then spread the word. Thank you. You are awesome.
You are awesome. Yes, thank you guys so much. And yeah, we got like 3 or 4 backers the last couple of days. So I do appreciate it. And that puts us over the 51K. So I do appreciate that. Come by. The link is in the description. I'm sure there's something for everybody. So come by, pick up a book. You will not regret it. I always say it is the greatest comic book of all time. Get it? All time. So yeah, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate the books. And the good thing about the book sales, the good thing, I think it was Pop Culture. Thank you, Pop Culture Avenger. These books are going out ASAP. So as soon as we get the orders, within a week, they should be going out. They will probably go out sooner, but I give it a week just in case. We're still kind of moving in here in Texas, so there's still a lot of things that need to be done here. So the books usually go out within that like 5-day period. So you should get your books soon, Pop Culture. So thanks again for that. Let's see what Spirits Car says. I think Rob needs to move on. No offense to Rob, but his extreme characters were as generic as comic book heroes get. Just create more generic heroes, Rob. Well, to him, they weren't very generic. And he was always chasing that Cable character, though. That is for sure. I think there was a character called Cabot or named Cabot at Extreme. And, I don't blame him for trying to basically create his own Cable or his own Deadpool, because that would be hard to walk away from. He pretty much gave those characters to Marvel. So I'm sure he's making some money, but not crazy money. You don't hear Mark Silvestri going about trying to bring Cyberforce back. You don't hear much about Mark Silvestri doing anything. There's always Gideon. There is always Gideon. Hey Art, Health Chat. Unless it's drawn by Rob, these characters have no legs. I agree. Also, the thing is, Rob's got some pretty good ideas. Like you could go, okay, Youngblood they're the X-Men or they're the Teen Titans, but he brought something else into it where they were kind of sponsored by corporate sponsors, and there was a little bit more going there. So the thing is, I think the ideas were always there. They just might not have been developed to the extent that they could have. But I think Rob had some really good ideas. Okay, what did Rob do now? It's not what Rob did. It's kind of what was done to Rob. Oh, thank you, Death Metal Hero. He can confirm Chrono Mechanics is great. Sweet. Oot! Oh, man. Okay. Let's see. And then I'll get into the article. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. The thing is, like when I did creator owned things, I wanted them to be completely different than anything that I had done before, and I wanted them to be different than superhero stuff. Not that I don't like superhero comics, I do, but the way I look at it is Marvel and DC do it so well, it would be practically impossible for me to compete with that. Like, why would I want to do my own Captain America or my own Spider-Man? There's already Captain America and there's already Spider-Man. So, and usually those type of things, they don't do well anyway, because I think people see through them. So for me personally, I wanted to try to do something different. Like Chrono Mechanics is, for right or wrong, it is a departure. Black and White is a departure. There's kind of superhero aspects or window dressing to Black and White, but they're robot hunting spies. That's it. They're robot fighters. So from the future, and there's some heroics in there, but it's basically James Bond of the future, with mech suits, and robots. So. Oud is my spirit animal. That's awesome. You guys are the best. All right. Well, I'm going to give you more context because I'm kind of all over the place as usual. That's the way things work here. Tangents are my thing. So you should be seeing this CB wire. So this is Platinum Studios. Platinum Studios, if you don't know, is Scott Rosenberg's. It's his studio, and like I said, Scott Rosenberg, he was in charge of Malibu Comics. He created it, he ran it, and if you remember early on, Image published through Malibu Comics for a brief period of time, and then they realized that they didn't really need them, and then they started, their own publishing division. So they were. What do they call that? They were a brand within a brand. This is Platinum Studios, a comic book based entertainment company controlling a library of thousands of comic book characters, has announced a beta launch of the website, www.platinumstudioscomics.com. The site, while also a business to business site like its parent, platinumstudios.com. We'll give more information on the individual comic book properties and will eventually include or link to descriptions of many individual characters. By showcasing individual comics and characters, it will make it easier for companies and creative individuals to work with us in developing adaptations for other media, including film, TV, streaming, and licensing of merchandise, said CEO Scott Rosenberg. And Scott Rosenberg is the guy behind Men in Black, the movies, the comics. He's the guy behind Cowboys and Aliens. So he's got quite a resume in Hollywood. So especially with Men in Black. And then this will include many genres of comics, including superhero adventures originally published by Awesome Comics or Image Comics, such as Youngblood Supreme, Vogue, Nightmare, and Bad Rock. Science fiction and horror stories from Platinum Studios comics, including, so then he goes into other books as well. So the thing is, what Scott Rosenberg did probably 15, maybe even 20 years ago, because I know, because he wanted my IPs as well. So what he did is he was asking people, and I think he might even have, somebody brought up Mark Silvestri. I think he has some of the Mark Silvestri Top Cow IPs. Is he went to individuals that he knew had marketable ideas and asked them to be part of this Platinum Studios. So what it was is that just everybody would give Scott Rosenberg their IPs, and then the idea is that he would license them to people, market them to people, since he was a Hollywood guy. And so then you would have a chance to get something made. So he was kind of working as an agent, like a middleman kind of agent, where, like, say, you have Chrono Mechanics, and then there's the movie studio over here. So Scott would get you in touch with these people, or turn you on to his array of contacts. So that was the idea, that he was basically taking advantage of his contacts. So he was a middleman. And so I do remember having conversations with him for Black and White and Chrono Mechanics in the day. This is when Platinum was being formed. And so then my concern was, because Scott's trying to throw out, like, well, we have Mark Silvestri, we have Rob Liefeld, we have all these guys, right? They're all, they have characters and IPs with us. And so then that becomes like a selling point. But to me, it wasn't a selling point. To me, it was competitive. It was like, okay, well, you have all these other IPs. Why is mine going to stand out? And then he was like, well, it's just a library that people can look at. And I said, yeah, but I need somebody that's going to get behind my IP. I need somebody that's going to sell it. I don't want to just, go to my library and see what we have here, and then pick out something, and then, say, I like this, and then give, Scott Rosenberg money, and then, eventually, I guess, you get money, kind of thing. And money came up with the conversation, and he doesn't pay you any option money. He doesn't pay you anything. You just give him the rights to basically be in the catalog. So it's like he's doing you a favor, but he's not paying you anything. I have no problem with Scott personally. So when I talk like this, I'm just talking about from a business standpoint and just how I feel about it. Some people might not have a problem with it, but I guess a problem makes it sound too grandiose. It just didn't work for me. So then I passed on the Platinum Studio at that point in time. So, but there were people that were like, yeah, Scott's got a great resume. It makes sense, and maybe everybody has a different deal than what he was offering me. Maybe they were just putting their stuff in the library, but not giving it to him in any kind of contractual way, like for 5 years, 10 years, or whatever kind of thing. Because if somebody's going to option something from me, they're going to give me money. I'm not going to option, like, Hollywood's weird, man. When I first started shopping Chrono mechanics around for an animated show or live action, whatever it was, there was option money. So when I was at Warner Brothers, they optioned it. You know, we were making a Bible and everything like that. But there was no money in it. But just prior to that, there was money. So they would give you, I think it was anywhere between $12,000 and $20,000 to option, you know, your IP. And to me, that wasn't very much money. But then they realized that they don't have to. There are people that are really hungry, and when Warner Brothers or Platinum Studios or whoever it is says that they want to rep you or they want to develop something or whatever it is, people will just give them things, and they realize that they don't have to pay anything for it, and they don't. It's just the privilege of doing business, you know, or just to just be a blip on their radar. You know what I mean? So it's really crazy. And to me, I always think like, well, if I'm willing to option something for no money, then to me it has no value. Because for right or wrong, the way we give importance to things in our way of life today is all monetary. So if something has a higher dollar value, to us, it means more. It's more important. It has more, you know, substance to it, or whatever it is, you know. And that's just the way it is. So if you give something away, then you're saying it has no value. So that's why I don't like those kind of deals. So this, I'm going to give you all my Scott Rosenberg interactions. So this was, so this is more, you know, like the last couple of years. Scott got a hold of me, and he liked Chrono mechanics. He always liked Chrono mechanics. So he said, how's it going with it? You know, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, it's going good. I'm thinking of, you know, doing a crowdfund for it, you know, all this stuff. And he's going, oh, cool. He said, I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. He said, how would you like to set up a meeting and we can talk? And I said, sure. So we did, you know, we had lunch and we were talking. And so it was kind of the same discussion where he was like, we would like to option it and be part of our library. And then I said, well, what would the dollar amount be? He goes, well, there wouldn't be. You would basically give us your IP for X amount of time, and then we would shop it around. And I go, well, you would shop it around, or it would just be part of your library? He goes, it would be part of the library. I said, so if I was to do this, you wouldn't personally take Chrono mechanics and then shop it? He said, no, it would be part of this. And then he said, what I do is if there's a studio looking for sci-fi time travel or comedic sci-fi or whatever, then I turn them on to this IP, you know, whatever's in his catalog. But he doesn't actively go, I believe in Chrono mechanics, I'm going to knock down every door. Well, to me, if I'm going to give you something, you should do something, not just put it in a catalog and then let people rummage through your box of back issues, you know, comics, and then try to figure out what they want. To me, that wasn't really, it wasn't what the IP deserves. The IP deserves somebody to fall in love with it, like he said, and then go out and market it, sell it, you know, take it around town, you know, do that, but not just, we're going to put it here in the catalog and then people can find it. And so, you know, that's kind of what Platinum Studios is. So now that article that I was just talking about, what they're doing now, finally, after 20 years, at least 15 years, you can click on something, it sounds like, and then you can find out about this IP. So then they have not just like a paragraph, you know, like Chrono mechanics is wacky sci-fi, you know, action adventure about the, you know, misadventures of, you know, a repair team 9.2 of Sector 7, the wackiest, you know, group of repairmen to ever punch a time card or whatever it is. You know, it's just a paragraph, but now it's going to be like images, bios, stuff like that. You know, it might even have like something on the creators, things like that. I don't know. I didn't click on the link. You know, maybe we could. Let me see if the link is even active. Website. Okay, so here it is. All right. I'm not very good at this, so just bear with me. So we'll educate you guys on this, and I'll educate myself at the same time. So it's actually called Comic Book Library and Entertainment. So this is eons of captivating comics. So this is it. So if you're a movie guy or a video game guy or whatever, I guess you come to this website and then you can see what it's all about. So this is the home page, Platinum Studios Comics. So it gives you a little bit of a rundown who Scott Rosenberg is. Character-based entertainment company. So this is how they're selling it. Platinum Studios Comics is run by Scott Rosenberg, the 14-time New York Times best-selling creator. Also a film producer. Rosenberg's movies include the #1 box office winner, Cowboys and Aliens, with Daniel Craig of James Bond and Harrison Ford of Star Wars. So it doesn't look like he's really promoting himself with Men in Black anymore, which if I still could, that would be the go-to, because I don't know if Cowboys and Aliens did as well as it could have. X Mutants, his first launch of X Mutants was an instant hit. I did a cover for X Mutants. I didn't realize that was Scott Rosenberg. Malibu Comics, X Mutants. I just saw that when I was going through the archives. Oh yeah, here's the Men in Black thing. Okay, so he does bring up Men in Black here. So yeah, so this is mostly about Scott and Platinum at this point. So pretty impressive. I mean, this is a pretty impressive resume for him, but a lot of those IPs he was connected to. So it's not like he sold, like, it's not like Cowboys and Aliens was something he was representing. He actually owned that. Okay, so here's the comic universe. Macroverse, Platinum Studios Comics, graphic novels from Platinum Studios Comics, other allied publishers, including Killing Demons from Engine Press, blah, 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 more details. Awesome Comics, there's Rob's stuff. Okay, Triumphant Gallery, so here's a cover gallery. A lot of this stuff looks like more like movie poster stuff. These don't look like comic book covers. Some of them do. So let's see. Awesome Comics, created and developed by superstar Rob Liefeld. Oh my gosh, he's using Rob's name. Creator of the billion-dollar Deadpool franchise for Marvel, whose characters and stories that have appeared in over 100 million comics worldwide. More details. Let's see what they look. Oh my gosh, he's actually using Rob's image to sell this too. I'm glad I did this. Oh my gosh. I thought he was just going to try to sell the comics on their own merit. No, he's using Rob and Marvel and Deadpool. Oh my goodness. Awesome Comics, Malibu Comics, Scott Rosenberg. So Scott's got the mainstay. He's got Youngblood. So he's got Rob's baby there. Oh my gosh. Kid Supreme, I think Dan Fraga did that. Newman was oh my gosh. Who did that? I forget who did that now. Supreme. I did a bunch of covers for Supreme. Wow. Awesome Comics won great critical acclaim for the radical reinvention of the awesome universe by comics master Alan Moore. Wow. I would definitely lead with this too, Scott. I don't blame you for doing this, but it's still a little bit uncool, especially with Rob's picture there. Look at you drop a bunch of other names here. Malibu Comics, known as innovative marketing and broad effective distribution in a unique new arrangement. The artists Eric Larson, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Will Portacio, and Scott or Mark Silvestri and Jim Valentino formed Image Comics, a partnership of several different studios, including Rob Liefeld's Extreme Studios, Mark Silvestri's Top Cow. The reason he brings up Mark Silvestri's Top Cow because I know he's got IPs by Mark. I don't think he has any of Jim's stuff though, Jim Lee's, and I know he doesn't have any Todd McFarlane. Todd did everything right, man. Todd is the textbook of how to do this. He brings up Jeff Loeb, writer of Smallville TV series. Yeah, there's just a bunch of like name dropping in here. So it's funny because this doesn't look like he's really selling it based on the strength of the comic itself. It looks like he's trying to sell this stuff based on Rob and Rob's resume, Image Comics, and everybody else that worked that was impressive over at it, Extreme and Awesome Comics. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time I'm talking. You can click on Supreme. It doesn't give you anything more. Yeah, so it doesn't really, let me see. It doesn't give you anything about the characters. What is this? Yeah, it doesn't really give you a rundown on the IP. So if I click on this Supreme, 13 Supreme, 5, I don't know what those, yeah, if you click on them, it doesn't do anything. It just blows up. So it doesn't look like you can find out anything more about the IPs themselves. So this is really like you're just selling the wow of just Rob and Youngblood and Supreme. You can't even find out more about the IPs themselves. That's really weird. Comics Universe. Yeah, that's really bizarre. So all they do is give you this. It doesn't talk about what Youngblood is or what Supreme is or anything. Let's see what Triumphant, what they do with this. Triumphant Chromium Man. Realm 500, galactic government expanding the center planetary system. See, this gets into the development of political realm, explosive growth. Yeah, this actually should break down. Like they should have cover gallery. You just get to see the cover blown up. It's exactly the same size as it was there. It doesn't even, oh, well, this one goes a little bigger. Not much though. Yeah, so they give you a little bit of a cover gallery, but what it should say is it should say the title. It should say Chromium Man is paragraph, whatever. Characters are blah, blah, blah. But it's more of like what Triumphant Comics is. So that's kind of weird. So if I was a licensing guy or looking for a movie, this wouldn't really give me the information that I would need. It's really bizarre. Let me see. Let's see what TV and film is. Okay, so this is his resume of what he's done. Let's see what Macroverse is. Okay, so Macroverse looks like it's probably his universe. Yeah, Macroverse is Platinum Studios' expanding universe of thousands of characters. And yeah, but what are these characters? What are they all about? Well, at least this one says it's a sci-fi. Yeah, this is how you should do it. But it actually should have more than this. So this is more like just a like a diamond, like distributor catalog rundown. Wow. I'm not that impressed by this. And to be honest, his setup here is better than the other ones. It should be broken down like this, and there should at least be a paragraph, like a quick pitch for like the way of the weapon. So, you have the quick pitch here, you click on the image, and then the image, whoa, the image goes here. Yeah, the image didn't even go. So the image should go into more detail of what that IP is. If I was setting it up, that's what I would do. So, he wants people to give their IPs to him, and this is what he's going to do with them. I'm not that impressed. I'm not trying to talk anybody out of working with Platinum, but it doesn't seem like he's going to do much for you. And I think if he maybe had something else sold other than his own IPs, I think that maybe I'd be impressed. Like if he had, just some indie creator's book that sold to a movie studio, then you could actually go, well, outside of your own interests, you sold something. Then I would be more impressed. But he doesn't really have that at this point. Oh man, thank you so much for the super chat. Chromium is Adam Post's book, drawn by Adam Polina. Oh, well, there you go. That's why it looks so good. I dig Adam Polina. He's a weird, cool dude. A few years back, he was my con buddy, so I got to hang out with him, his lovely wife, and their little kid. Hey, he's got a family now. Even he has settled down. Adam Polina has. So Spirits Car says, never saw Cowboys and Aliens. The movie looked like Down syndrome garbage. I'm sorry. Sometimes you guys crack me up. Blue Samurai, good morning, my friend. Let's catch up with you guys, see what you have to say. The toys that made us show Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is interesting. It goes into business dealings, the option deal, how a black and white animal comic was sold to the masses. Yeah, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was actually, there was a guy that believed in it and sold it. He liked the comic book and he sold it. It was one guy that did that. Like what Scott Rosenberg is doing is he's not personally taking an IP. That was kind of what I was trying to make a point of. Like if he came to me and said, I really believe in Chrono Mechanics, I'm going to get this thing made. I'm going to shop it around town. Give me a year option. I don't have any money for you, but I'm only asking for a year. If I can't do anything within a year, then it goes back to you, and you can work with whoever, or just say it's a non-exclusive. Like, give me the option. You can still sell it, but you can't go with anybody else. So you can still try to option it, and I can option it. So if you get anything, like if I got the deal, he doesn't get anything. So we can work independently. We can still, so I don't waste any time with him, and I can still market it and I can still sell it. And anything that I get out of the deal, it's independent of him. But if he lands a deal, then it's whatever we agree upon. I think those things are fair, but Hollywood just doesn't work that way. They want everything, and they're willing to pay nothing for it. So it's just not a good thing. So I'm not really sure how Rob got mixed up with Rosenberg. I heard a lot of things. I have a friend, Paul Powers, and he does storyboards for Hollywood. He also does comic book work. He's quite good, and he claims that Scott Rosenberg ripped off his East meets West idea, and that was basically Cowboys versus Aliens. And so I know that he did file a lawsuit, and they had battled for years for ownership. So if you talk to enough people about Scott Rosenberg, and I don't mean to cast shade, because it is what it is. This is just, like I said at the beginning, I don't feel one way or the other about him. I don't hate him. I don't think he's despicable or whatever. I just, when I enter into a business deal, I just try to go in with my eyes open. And at this point, unless there's some serious money on the table, or I really believe that something could happen with Chrono Mechanics or Black and White or whatever else I create, I'm not going to do it, because it just doesn't make any sense to just give somebody something and let them shop things around on their own, or just put it in a catalog, like the website we saw. It was just kind of like, I wasn't that impressed. If I'm going to give you my life's work, it deserves more than an image of the cover and a paragraph. And that was his own IPs. That wasn't even like Rob's. Like, all the Extreme Studios stuff should be, the same way. Cover, quick pitch, cover, quick pitch, cover, quick pitch. And then you should be able to click on the image, and then you should be able to have like character bios. You should have each one of the individual characters with a bio and everything like that. Because if you're going to buy this thing, if you're Hollywood and you're going to buy this thing, you need to know what you're getting. I don't think he does a good enough job of even explaining what it is. So that's my 2 cents about it. So I can see why Rob was a little upset about all this stuff. I'm not sure if Rob's ever explained how and why everything happened the way it did. I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure that Rob, when the deal was made, it made sense at the time, because Rob is a sharp guy. So when he gave up the rights, I don't know if there was some serious money involved, or if there was a lot of hope that something was going to get made, so that he was willing to be that generous up front about it. So I don't know how, 2 guys get ownership of your IP, meaning the guy that's going to publish, I don't know that guy's name. He's going to publish Rob's Extreme stuff, and then Scott Rosenberg, because I do think it was split into 3s. I think Rob got, a third, Scott got a third, and this other guy got a third. That's going to, I don't know if he's already launched some of the Extreme Studios IP stuff yet. I don't really keep up on it. Quite frankly, I don't have any interest in it, and without Rob working on it, it doesn't make any sense. Danger Vanessa, Artie Bear, you are applying way too much logic to the situation. Yeah, maybe there's not that much thought involved at all. But, when I go into a deal like this, I try to think of all these things. And, the thing is, a lot of people, they fall in love with Hollywood. Like Scott Rosenberg's, his resume is very, very impressive. Don't get me wrong, as far as comic book publisher and as far as, Hollywood. He sold Malibu to Marvel Comics. I worked on a Malibu Marvel Comics crossover with George Perez. How do you do this? I mean, this is impressive stuff. It was like the Ultraverse, merges with the Avengers, and George Perez and I worked on the artwork on it. So, this is impressive. And then, selling Men in Black, and then Cowboys versus Aliens, and then all the other stuff that he's done. It's very impressive. So I can see how somebody who doesn't quite understand things might get involved with him. But I would just advise, like I said, I think what should come down to anybody that is in this situation, with partnering with somebody that you think can take it into a direction that you can't, like movies or TV or video games. If you just give it away, it has no value. If you just give it away, there's no value. So you have to get something out of it. You either get money, or you get some kind of guarantee that something's going to happen with it. You know what I mean? Like it's going to go into development. Like with Chrono and Warner Brothers, like it was, we did the Bible. We did, we were working with them. So things like that can happen. But you see what the give and take is, what you're going to get out of it. Sometimes it is a handshake deal, but if you really think that something's going to come of it, then you go for it. But also, you don't, in those deals, you don't give up perpetuity rights. You don't give up like long-term rights. You just give up what's needed to get that thing done. And if somebody like that can't do it in a year, then they can't do it. You give them 10 years, you give them, perpetuity rights. There's just too much room there for them not to do anything with it, quite frankly. And that's my problem with the Platinum Studios library. It's just too much opportunity for them not to do anything. So is that Renkabot? For $5, thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate it. Amazon just delivered Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition. You have some killer work in there, Art. I love Scott, but man, you nailed Jim's work. Thank you so much. I have one coming as well, so I'm going to do an unboxing when it gets here. Scott Dunbier, who is the editor on that book, he contacted me, and he wanted to tell me. He said in one of the on one of the pages where there's some of the artwork, he misspelled my name, so he wanted to let me know about that, and then my new address to send the book. So I'll probably be doing an unboxing of that artist edition. Those things are killer. If you guys haven't seen them, they're like 11 by 17, and they're taken from the original pages. So they're scans right from the original pages. Sometimes they still have like the artboard stuff and like editor notes and things like that on the page themselves. So thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Shadowhawk says art was born the night, just not last night. I like that. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping this up because basically I felt Rob's pain, man. I really did. I know he wanted to do more stuff with Youngblood. I know that he had ideas and places to take these characters, and it's just a shame that people aren't going to ever see that stuff. So I do hope that he continues to create, because I do think he has a great mind for creating things. I do like to see what he comes up with. And he has a lot of energy to sell them as well. Let me see. Shadowhawk. I gave up on Rob years ago. He was always more personality than artist to me. And FF's learned to draw feet. I think he can draw feet. Okay. Shout out to the Woodlands. Yeah, it's going to be 80 degrees here. It looks gorgeous outside. There's my weather report again. Shadowhawks, or not Shadowhawk, but Spirits Car. So take that. Take that. I'm going to read these two and then bid you adieu. Yeah, Rob, the creator of Ryan Reynolds, LOL. Yeah, but like if you think about Deadpool, you go Rob's original Deadpool, but then you think of what was it? Was it Joe Kelly? Or you think about what writers and creative people did after that, based on the DNA that was there. So, you realize that what Rob created with Deadpool had legs. There was something there. Maybe it didn't come to fruition, on his run. And I'm not saying that, but some people do. Some people say until Joe Kelly got a hold of the character, it didn't really do anything for them. But that DNA was still Rob's. Like you could say that, oh, well, Stan Lee's version of whatever character didn't really come into its own until this other writer team worked on it, and that's fair. But you still realize that the DNA of that character was good. If it wasn't, no one would be able to do anything down the line with it. So that's how I feel about that. Oh, cool. Thank you, Ruben. Ordered my Chrono mechanics. Did you just do it right now? That'd be cool. That's cool. Let's see. 5122. Yeah, you sure as hell did. A couple of you guys did. Thank you so much. 731 backers. Wow. 51,218. I should have done that on the live stream. Well, thank you, Ruben. You guys are badass mofos. Pedro loves Joe Kelly. Yeah, Joe Kelly's a great guy too. I've worked on several projects with him. A great guy. All those men of action dudes are awesome. Joe Kelly. What is it? Duncan Rouleau. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. There's another Joe. Joe Casey. Are there three? Steven Seagal. Seagal is it? Yeah, Steven Seagal. I always think of the actor. So is there four of them or five? So there's Duncan, Joe, the Joes, Joe Kelly, Joe Casey, and then Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal, Joe's, and then Duncan Rouleau. Yeah, I think there's four of them. But what a great title for a studio, a Men of Action, and just four great creative guys, and they get along really well. Joe Kelly's Deadpool, yeah, yeah. I know you're not in love with Joe Kelly, but thanks for the clarification. All right, Ruben, you're the man of the hour. Thank you so much. Yeah, you and Arankabot. You guys are the men of the hour. You guys are the men of action in this stream. And I'm not saying that just because you gave me money. Money does help. Money makes the world go round. It helps us pay our bills. It helps us feed our family. So, yeah. For some reason, I feel like I'm missing something, but probably not. So yeah, I don't want to make it seem like that I'm blasting Scott Rosenberg, because I'm not. Like Scott's a good guy. It's fun to talk to. He's done some very impressive things. Like the way I look at it is Men in Black may not have had the legs that it did. It may not have existed at all without somebody like that. So, the Men in Black franchise, at least when Will Smith was involved, the earlier stuff I thought was really, really good. I thought the cartoon show was really good. The toy line was decent. So I think that Men in Black had a good run. And I do think that Chrono Mechanics, if I had all the same stars line up, Rosenberg, the person that he partnered with to get Men in Black made and all that other stuff, I think Chrono Mechanics could be as big as Men in Black. I think the concept and the characters are brilliant. I think they could have legs. I think that would be amazing. I don't hold out any hope. What I'm with Hollywood, where I'm holding out hope is to take it to people like you guys and start funding not just these comic books, but to fund other things, to have development money to go into video games, or to do shorts like animated shorts, or animated or like short live action, kind of like the way WandaVision is doing, or The Mandalorian, do half-hour online shows, have it like Comicsgate presents or whatever, and then we could each fund shorts of our IPs, and then do it that way, and then you guys would have complete control. Like you guys would be funding it, you guys would get like your perks, you'd be basically ground level producers on these things. And I think that's really exciting, because then already Comicsgate is a people's movement, but this would, God, could you imagine? Especially like in comics, we're throwing up, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of us are putting up millions. And could you imagine if we did the same with these shorts? Like 25-minute, short, either cartoons or live action, like I said, of like Cyberfrog, or Chrono Mechanics, or Graveyard Shift, or something like that. I think it would be incredible. I think it would be, God, it'd be so awesome. And I could just see Hollywood just going, how did they get $2 million to make this animated whatever? And having said that, I do have to give a shout out to my friend Tom Bancroft for what is it called? Pencil-ish, I think it's called. It's kind of a hard name to remember, but it's Pencilish. I'm looking for the link right now, because I do want to give him, I want to direct some attention there. It's a great idea, and it's exactly what I've been talking about. So let me screen share this with you. He's a good friend. He did a Mushu drawing for my daughter when she was just a little kid. And we hung it up in her room. It was pretty awesome. And then he did a Chrono Mechanics cover for the book. He did the Doug variant cover. And he was a key Disney animator, him and his brother, his twin brother, Tony Bancroft. And together they worked on Mulan. So Tom Bancroft was the key animator designer of the character Mushu, the Eddie Murphy character. And his brother directed the flick. And I do believe was either nominated or won the Academy Award for Best Animated. So this is Pencilish. This is a crowdfund, a WeFunder. And so this is Tom. I would play the video, but it's a little long. I can put the link in the description, which is what I'll do. I'll do that right now, and then I'll come back so you guys can maybe check it out while we're talking. So there it is. So let's go back to the wall. It's a home run. Okay, so yeah, so this is Pencilish, a crowd-owned animation studio created by top Disney alumni. So this is like Comicsgate. This is you guys get to go in, be an investor. They're at 658, almost 659. 100,000. So they're on the other side of $1 million. So they're closing in on the $1 million mark. So they have 1,418 investors. So yeah, you can basically get in on the ground floor of this new company. And here's the team. So these guys are all like major animated feature animation veterans. These are no slouches, these guys. So, and Tom's a good guy. He's done a couple crowdfund for comic books and things like that. And I believe that that these guys can get it done. So, if you guys have some time, go check it out. Tom's a good guy, but this is what I'd like to do with Comicsgate as well. And I assure you, when Tom's got this all up and running, I'm going to be talking to him about Chrono, because he's a big lover of Chrono. He came in early on and gave a ton of support for that book when I originally created it. So he gave me a lot of, I don't know, when somebody like that says it's good and they enjoy it, that's when you're like, oh shit, I think we have something here. So I always said, like, it's weird because like Chrono is one of those books, like in comics, they kind of like it, but all the animation people that I know, all the studios, they love it. You know what I mean? Like they absolutely love it. So I think there's something, there is a little bit of a difference, like with the audiences there, but I still think that it's a great comic book, and I'm going to continue to keep doing Chrono books. Glenn Keane, yeah, those guys also, the Bancroft brothers have a podcast, and so they have a lot of these great animators on the show, and they have Glenn Keane, they have Claire, and I think his other daughter. They worked on Frozen, so they've been on that show. But God, I just love all those Disney animators. So they have a lot of those guys, on the show and stuff like that. They have comic book people on the show as well. So it's really cool. Yeah, he's doing some great stuff, and he really believes, him and his brother believe in like the indie spirit, so they work for Disney. I'm not going to share their stories. I know their stories. They're similar to a lot of the stories that you hear in Comicsgate, but they didn't just sit there and just mope. They actually went out and are trying to do different things. I think that Tom Bancroft is working on this movie. I'm not sure if it ever came out. It's called Animal Crackers, and I believe it's an indie film, but I think it's all overseas, overseas funded and everything like that. And I think it is. I wanted to say it's traditional animation, but I think it's digital. So I know that both of them, especially Tom, would really like to get back to a more traditional, hand-drawn animated feature, because those guys, I mean, those animators on the computer are good, don't get me wrong, but those guys that draw that stuff without like the wireframe and all that other stuff, without the puppet, those guys are gifted, man. I always wanted to be a Disney animator, and I don't know how they do it. I still don't know how they do it. There's timing. There's all kinds of really interesting things, like how you do all the vowel sounds with the mouth, how you make the shape, how you time it. All of that stuff is pretty incredible. How many drawings it takes to make this one syllable, or if they stretch the syllable or whatever it is. There's all kinds of stuff to it. It's so much more than putting down a single image, because it's like in comics, you put the single image. The hard part is you got to find that one single image, but in animation, you got to find that beginning, middle, end of that action, and then you have to animate that. And that's beyond me. Those guys, I watch them do it, and I'm like, how the hell do you guys do this stuff? Victor Thomas, they have an art book about the making of Animal Crackers. Oh shit, I gotta get that. So is that out? I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna write this down as soon as I get off here, because I remember I saw Tony at the San Diego Comic-Con, and I saw him when they first started the project, and he was real iffy about it. They got a lot of big names to do the voices and stuff on that. So it's not a small little production. It is kind of an independent, but it's not. I mean, there's money and there's talent behind it. When they started, and he was really unsure about it, but then I saw him a few years back, and I think they were finishing it up, and he was like, this is really incredible. So he was really happy with it. He was very confident with it. So those guys are definitely doing it. They got the spirit, man. Pedro Eng says commercial or classical animation training is where it is at. Yeah, I think if you have that, then you're way above like most people, because I don't know if those guys that do digital animation, I don't know if they have quite that education. And like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm casting shade on them, but I think it's different when you have that puppet. Like they start with a puppet, I believe, and then they manipulate the puppet. So it's kind of like having one of these. So basically they're moving this, and animating, it like this, but it's a digital puppet. And so then they get to move the puppet, around. I believe, I'm not really sure, so I don't want to seem like, I'm representing it. But I think, because I've seen them work, and they kind of take like an anchor point, like an elbow, and then they move it, and then they move a wrist and stuff like that. So I think it is more like manipulating a puppet than it is like drawing from scratch, from blank piece of paper, like this whole fluid, movement and expression and everything, because multiple things are going on. Stuart Ing actually carried the Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. I haven't checked out their site in a while, so they picked up my art book. So that was very cool. And Stuart Ing is they have a great online bookstore, and they have a brick and mortar in LA as well. I don't live there anymore, so I can't go see it. But yeah, I should check that out. I want to see the movie too. All right, you guys. So I'm all caught up. thank you so much for hanging with me. It was a blast. And I think tomorrow night is tomorrow. No, it's Thursday night. So Thursday night is Spilling the Ink with the Professionals. And that's the Professionals are Billy Tucci, Dan Fraga, who's a Graham Nolan, Andy Smith, Aaron Lepresti, and little old me. So we do a show, and whoever hosts the show gets to pick the subject. So I think Graham did Star Trek. I forget what I did, like your first comic experience or how you broke into the business. So we kind of come up, we have a topic, and then the 5 or 6 of us talk about that subject for about an hour or so. And so I believe this week is going to be on Dan Fraga's show, but he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to host it. So if he doesn't host it, I'll probably host it this week on my channel. So that's another thing. We're doing kind of like the Jack Show, where each week one of us are going to host it on our channels. So then we can kind of like break it up, try to, I don't know, maybe get in front of a different crowd, a new crowd, because Graham Nolan's crowd might not be mine and vice versa. So it's a way of like cross-pollinating and stuff like that, and helping get the word out of what we're doing and who we are. So also those guys are a bunch of fun to hang out with, man. I dig those guys. Yeah, Aaron is a low-key zinger, man. He'll zing you when you're not looking. So I do like that. It's a lot of fun, and you can zing him back, and he doesn't take offense to it. So that's always good. Let me see. All right. Yeah, so check us out Thursday. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I am trying to make an effort to get out in the morning and hang out with you guys before I start my work day. So I'm going to get to work. I'm going to start on some black and white layouts. We're about 45 pages into the layout phase. I have a cover done. I'm calling it the cover. It might not be the cover, but I showed that off on EVS's stream the other night. And so I'm going to work on another cover, and I have a bunch of surprises that one of them is concrete. The other one I'm hoping will be concrete very, very soon. And so then the pre-launch is going to go up for Black and White Volume 2 soon as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So you guys take care, and I will see you soon.